This is the blueprint, and today we're tackling one of the most important parts of your build, the water enclosure. This is gonna house our water tank, our pump, all of our water components inside this guy. I wish y'all just saw my dad's face, but we are using this 80/20 extruded aluminum. We're using this currently on our electrical system, and it is safe to say this stuff is nothing less than amazing. So in this video, I'm gonna show you everything we use and really integrate it into our entire system. So let's go ahead and hop into section 1 of why we chose 80/20 and the different routes you can go. The first thing you're wondering is why we went with this weird aluminum looking stuff. And yes, while it is a bit more pricey than wood, it's 100% way better in my opinion. For one, it's more sturdy, and number two, it's easy to install and disassemble. So if you ever need to change something within your water system, it's way easier than digging into wood and separating that glue and such. So before I go into cutting and showing you the dimensions in the blueprint, I'm gonna give you a little quick rundown on how this stuff works. Damn it. So as you can see here, there's 4 channels, so you can slide T-nuts and hardware into these grooves. You can also buy the 2-channel ones, and those ones are definitely a little bit cheaper, but so the company for this is called 80/20, but we actually bought it from someone local, so we didn't have to pay for the shipping. And this place is called Grainger, and they sell a bunch of industrial supplies. Thankfully, we found this place because shipping for this stuff is insane. That just made this enclosure way cheaper. So like I said, everyone's build is different, so your measurements are also gonna be different. We have the 28-gallon Northwest Conversions ProMaster over the wheel well water tank, so I'll give you the dimensions of that, but like I said, everyone's build's gonna be different, but what I can actually help you with is getting a blueprint. I actually went to a place called Thrive Vans, and they have this diagram. They actually sell plans for a Sprinter, but so we kind of just printed this off and wrote our own measurements. We kind of just needed visual, and then we could make it happen. So here's a measurement of the tank. You can screenshot this, pause, or do whatever. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I'm gonna show you, we're gonna start prepping and cutting all of the material. So I'm gonna show you everything you're gonna need for that. Is acquire some wood cutting tools to then cut your metal with, but you're gonna wanna make sure you get a metal cutting blade for this because you don't wanna use a wood cutting blade to cut metal. So acquire one of these and then cut out your measurements. So another super cool thing about buying these aluminum from Grainger is you can buy them to fit a size. So you can buy 4-foot pieces, 6-foot pieces, 8-foot, 10-foot. And thankfully our enclosure is actually 4 feet long exactly. So we only need to cut 3 pieces to fit. So one of these is gonna be 27 inches and then just 2 inches. 2 of these are gonna be 27 inches and then one of them is 46 inches to fit in between. So that's another cool thing about Grainger. So here we have King Starboard, which is what we are using to mount all of our plumbing components to. So I just cut everything to fit inside of our enclosure, and I pre-drilled where the holes are gonna go. All right, it's mounted. So I actually notched out the corners of this enclosure, and I got these little plastic pieces because this accumulator doesn't sit very well on its own. So what we did was we countersunk these little plastic squares, and now we're just gonna put it inside the bottom here, screw them down like this so it's up on the same level as the water pump. So now let's go ahead and remove our screws. We are using some M5 screws that are about 1.5 inches. Then we're gonna place our spacers right on there. All right, so now we have our accumulator and our water pump mounted. And we also have our filter and shutoff valve also mounted over here. This is what's going to be holding down our water tank. It's going to be sitting here with all the components on top, but we have all of our connections to our tank, and it just sits snugly across here, and then we're going to mount it to the wall. Also, down here I used a step-up bit and I drilled a hole so we can mount the enclosure to the floor as well. So I kind of just have an angle sitting there because we're going to have a wood face go in front of this. Next steps, I'm going to show you guys how I built this plexiglass viewing screen. So this is going to be here so I can move this out of the way in case I ever need to do maintenance, change out the filter, etc. So the reason why I did it here and not on the channel is because I'm going to be facing this with some wood and I want it to look nice, and this is basically going to go behind the wood when I install it. But for the next steps, I'm going to show you how I did this plexiglass screen and this King Star board that we've mounted on top of our 8020 to house all of our components and PEX. All right guys, so now I am doing the plexiglass for the cover of the enclosure. So if we come down here, we kind of got it clamped up on here because it's a little bit difficult. I messed up on the last one. There's this weird slant here. I guess the enclosure isn't perfectly square, so it is a very beautiful day out here, by the way. We got some rain, chill vibes, but now right here we are working on our cover for this little guy right here. So we are going to be cutting out that wood so it fits around this perfectly and slanting it at the edges so it looks nice. So right here we've got our plumbing cover, so this is going to go over it, and we've got our window cut out right there. So we're going to do one last round of staining on here, and then we're going to go ahead and install this to our enclosure. All right, so here's our cover. So we're going to be placing this right here, and then it will go directly on here. So it will look just like this. So this is how it's going to look when it's fully said and done. So I do need to seal this with polyurethane, but then this is done. But that's how you build your enclosure. I hope this was helpful. Next video, I'm going to be showing you guys our water tank. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next video.